Hey everyone, Mike today with some thoughts here on Kingdom Two Crowns. Go ahead and continue here on our game. So I previously did a video on Kingdom New Lands, which was an enhanced version of the original Kingdom game. For the most part, they're pretty similar. And yeah, I've seen that recent video. This is pretty much more the same, a little bit expanded as well. So for those of you who have never seen these games or don't really know what to expect, they're interesting. It's a very simple game. It does run on, so if you have a phone, then this is kind of game which I could totally see myself playing on mobile because it doesn't really require a lot of inputs. Just moving your king or princess or whatever you want to call him. You're moving the dude on the horse, right? And all you have to do really is either walk up to certain structures and hit the down arrow key on PC, upgrade it, and you also have a sprint button, travel faster. That's pretty much all there is to it. Everything else in this game is AI driven, so you don't and units around and tell them what to do. The game pretty much all handles itself on its own. So I'm walking around here, trying to collect some gold and trying to upgrade some of the various aspects of this camp that I built. I am a couple days in at this point as well, which is why you're seeing numbers at the top of the screen. And yeah, mechanically, pretty simple game. Like I said, you're just kind of running around, you know, stopping on units to see if they've collected any gold, buying upgrades, expanding your base, camp by clearing out trees and expanding land and that kind of stuff. It's a pretty straightforward game in that sense. There's not a whole lot of things going on. However, it doesn't really explain much either. So you're kind of exploring, expanding, you're learning how this game operates as you move on. I've finally expanded my base just big enough so we can get some farmers here. So this jobless person finally gets a job, and he'll be start farming our base, our camp. Yeah, it is a fairly straightforward thing mechanically. Continually fanning out, trying to reach further and further, either to the left or right side of the map. I have already traveled from my first camp to this area, so that's something that you could do in the first game, but that build up was really long, and so I kind of covered a little bit of that in the video, but I never ended up getting super far either. However, in this game, you seem to be able to do that much sooner. Also, when you do create a new run, there's also different variants. So there's like a Norse one, I think the Shogun Dynasty style one as well. So, you know, they have a little bit of extra variety that I don't remember seeing in the game, which is pretty cool. It definitely does give it a little bit of a different look and feel, I suppose. I haven't tried the new variants or any of those yet. I'm still on my first run here, which is only a couple days. Yeah, between playing both of those games and hearing people talk about it and being already kind of familiar with what this is, yeah, it's cool. I like the idea. I like how it is mechanically really simple. There's not a whole lot to it. I appreciate the sort of mystery. Whoops, I hit the wrong shift button. But yeah, it's also split screen. I don't know what that's telling you. If you want to play. And this version does have transferable saves, which is pretty cool if you want to play on your phone and play on PC and kind of hop between those two platforms and sync saves across platforms, which is really cool. Silly as it sounds, more games should be able to do that. Yeah. Hopefully our guys are back in time. Oh, he did not. So you kind of see some of the mechanics coming into play here. Yeah, that bow there. Actually, my arrow guys are coming. Fortunate. The builders are also not running back to cover, which is also unfortunate. Did. But yeah, we've lost progress. That's no fun. So hopefully re-expand our base here a little bit. Regain some of that lost. So yeah, mechanically, you know, the challenge here is you have a limited amount of resources available to you. You only make so much money in a day. You only make so much money, and so the challenge is trying to balance how much you spend in terms of expanding the base, how much you spend doing upgrades. You got to expand to a certain extent, be able to get enough ground to do stuff like the farming here. But on the flip side, the more you spend on that stuff, you're not expanding as much, and so you got to really balance it. Because in the later runs, as the enemies get stronger and stronger, if you don't have enough resources to defend your base, well, kind of backing yourself into a corner there. On the flip side, if you don't spend enough doing like farming, for instance, you don't have enough regular income to support yourself. It can be really tough to balance everything. This is the one guy who got not rehire him. Thankfully, we can trade our merchant. Listen, good. So yeah, the reason those guys have a bunch of gold to give me is every time they take out various animals, they get one. So that's why I have to kind of run across the map, talk to them, if they have anything for me, run back, keep expanding it in this direction. So let's make sure we get the wall up first. And I should have enough time before night rolls around to get power upgraded too. That's a scary sound. I believe this might be a red moon. So this will be one of the tougher nights. Fortunately, I don't know if I can defend this because I have one layer of defense on the right side of the map. So, we might be in a rough position. In the first game, what I noticed, at least in the starting area, is that the enemies would only really come from one direction. And you could run pretty much to the end of the level, see what direction that was. Whereas in the second game here, it seems like they can come from both, for whatever that's worth. Can be a little bit tougher, I guess, because you got to deal with two different directions. If this is all that's coming, I think we might be okay. But that dude back there is a stronger enemy. Oof. Oh, we managed to survive. But I could have definitely used an extra layer of wall here. I think I'll be doing these two. Thankfully, the guy who got taken out didn't get hit again, so I don't have to rehire him. I just have to replace his weapon. Yeah, that's Kingdom 2 crowns. Yes, 2 crowns. I'll say 2 lands, but that doesn't sound. It is indeed Kingdom 2. Yeah, it's neat. Give it a look. Give it a try. I would say it's, you know, it's interesting. It's got enough variety to it and enough kind of mystery that, yeah, I can see spending a bit more time on this. I think it is also mechanically simple, similar enough to the first game that in some ways, you know, considering it's more or less the same as the first game, I don't really see the need in playing the first one, because what you're going to learn in this one and the first one still applies in the second game. So, if anything, between the 2 games, you're probably better off just starting with 2 lands, or 2 crowns rather. I did notice the developer has a kind of a cyberpunk one coming out, and there's also a DLC for this one as like the Norse stuff, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, they've continued with this simple idea for several years now. The game itself is rather inexpensive. It's normally 20 US or 22.79 Canadian. However, it does come on sale regularly at 75% off. So actually right now, it's 70% off. $5.99 US, $6.83 Canadian. Otherwise, it's already been down to $4.99 US or $5.69 Canadian. If you want the 75% off. Yeah, I've not explored too far beyond the base in this video, mostly because there's not a whole lot of reasons to. We can build that ship and sail out here and explore a new land. Or we could stick around here a bit longer. And yeah, I'm expanding left because I've got some gems. I spent some gem on kind of this shrine looking thing, and I'm trying to see how far we can get in that direction. Upgrade our farming capability. Okay. Kind of an important thing. And so yeah, I think I'll end this here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next week with something else.